I started considering having treatment about 5 or 6 years ago, but it took me quite a while to come to the point where I really did want to do it or felt confident to do it.
I don't want to look like I'm 25 because quite clearly I'm not. I suppose I just don't want to have any more extra lines.
I know that it's impossible to look like 20 again, or 30 or 40 even, but anything past that I feel is, at my age, justifiable.
Am I worried about what people will think? Yes, I think I am worried about perhaps some members of my family who I think may be brutally honest and are quite against aesthetic treatment.
I think other people's perception of treatments has stopped me, probably for the past 2 years, in actually getting something done. It's because I think in the general population it's considered a bit narcissistic, maybe.
I did speak to a couple of friends in my immediate circle, and my female friends started pulling the trout pout faces and things like that.
I think that's another reason I delayed, because I got quite negative feedback from some of my friends, and so that really put me off for a while.
I did speak to one member of my family about seeking treatment, and he was quite surprised because he didn't think that I would be vain enough to get something like this done.
I would certain people tell about it. Other people, perhaps, I would make excuses and say, yes, I had a good night's rest, because there are some people I know who have a lot of prejudice, actually, I would call it, yeah.
I will tell my closest friends that I've had treatment, and I'm hoping that they will say, you look good, and not that I look fake.
I had concerns about seeking treatment because I think the media is full of all the worst things that can happen, and the thought of coming out with a trout pout or a frozen face, I know they're the worst case scenarios and it's not most people's experience, but it does impact upon someone who's thinking about treatment for the first time.
I've seen some friends of mine that have had treatment before, and I wasn't too impressed with the results because it was, you could see the face a bit swollen, and they had that kind of frozen look. They would laugh or smile, and the face wouldn't move at all.
I suppose you do hear some horror stories in the press, so as long as I don't come out with over-exaggerated facial changes, then I'll be happy.
I had quite a few concerns about seeking treatment. I didn't want to look like I'd had work done, so I wanted to be quite natural.
I don't want to look like that. If I'm going to have a frozen face and have no expression, then I'd rather not have treatment.
One's biggest worry is that you're going to end up looking worse than you started. We've all heard horror stories, and we've all seen pictures in magazines where things have gone wrong.
A natural look for me would be for someone to look at me and thinking, yeah, she looks good, but not realizing what has changed.
It's really important that I look natural. I really wouldn't want to look like I can't raise an eyebrow, or I can barely smile without cracking my face.
I have to look natural. I wouldn't like not to be able to move my forehead or move my eyes or express myself the way I normally have.
I don't want to have an emotionless face.
I would like the result to be something that no one could actually say, you've had your face done.
It's very important that the treatment today leaves me with a face that still looks natural. I don't want to look too stretched and too young for my age.
I don't expect and I don't want my face to change. So I want to maintain my expressions as much as I can.
it's still really important to me that after treatment, that when I laugh, my face still smiles and laughs naturally, so that people don't feel that my face is frozen and that it's not the character that they've got to know over the years.